Okay, tonight for dinner, I'm going to reheat this leftover chicken that we had last night, but I am not going to heat it up in the microwave or the oven. I used to do that, but every time I do that, the meat gets so dried out, and it used to be really annoying how I used to reheat the chicken. It doesn't matter what temperature it was in the microwave, it still came out dry or in the oven. So one day I did some research and found out that steaming steaming the already cooked meat does help. Reason why it does help, it keeps that moisture in there, and it does moisten the meat a lot, and of course the meat just falls right off the bones. What I do here, I have this I don't know if you guys could see it, this Crafter Chef pot with this little I don't know what this really called, but this heater part. Yeah, that I use this a lot. I use this pot a lot. My husband gave it to me a few years ago, and I love this thing ever since. I do a lot of cooking in this. I cook either chicken, burgers, or whatever I want in here. Well, I just want to show you guys how to reheat the meat like this by steaming it. This does work really well and will keep the meat nice and moist as it reheats. And without further ado, let's get going. I usually set it up to warm, because that is the almost the lowest part that I can set it off. The lowest setting I can put it on. And it does have that red light right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. I think I need to clean that up a little bit, but I'll do that after. I'll do that after dinner. As you can see, it goes up to all the way 425, but we don't want it at 425. We want it at warm. So that way, this can start heating up. And I'll show you guys how it's coming along as we're doing it. And without further ado, let's get started, or should I say, we are starting. I do this with all different kinds of meats, like with chicken, like chicken drumsticks or chicken breast, chicken thighs, you name it. Heck, I even do this with steaks too, and I also do it with pasta, and I also do it with rice, and you name it. I'll show you guys in the future what I usually steam to reheat food. And about in a little while, I'll show you how it's doing. As you can tell, so far so good. It's going pretty good. I also forgot to mention, make sure you use a heat-resistible dish, like a casserole dish, when you do this. So that way, none of your good plates or bowls will be ruined. And it's looking pretty good so far. It's only been a few minutes. Water started to heat up, as you can see in there. And the chicken has started to get that little bit of moisture right there to them. And I'll continue to show you guys as I go along with this. Okay? I'll be back in a few. Okay. It's been steaming for at least about, let's see, for about 10 minutes or so. As you can see, the meat has started to take some moisture, and As long as this is full, as long as this has water in it, it should be fine. But once in a while, it depends how long you want to steam your meat. You might have to fill this up once in a while with water, so that way nothing happens to the stuff in here, especially the casserole dish. But it should be pretty good. I mean, I do this every time, and it never fails me. And I hope this will help you guys too. And believe me, I've been doing this for 2 to 3 years, and so far it's been pretty good. And as I said, that everyone would like to have the meat nice and moist, so the meat will just fall right off the bone, which is the way I like it. And I forgot to tell you guys, when I cooked my chicken last night, I took off the skin, and then I used olive oil, and I used whole different herbs, whatever herbs that you like. I used parsley, I used Italian seasoning, and onion powder, garlic powder, oregano, and I also use black pepper and pink salt, which is a little bit better for you than regular salt. Yeah, well, of course I had some leftover chicken, and I just wanted to make a video of me steaming my meat. And I'll show you guys at the end what I really mean about this. The meat just falls right off the bone. And I believe you guys will really, really like this. And I used to, as I said before, I used to reheat meat either in the... Ow, that's pretty hot. As I said before, I used to heat meat in the microwave or the oven, and the meat always turns out very, very, very dry. And you have to use something on the meat to get that extra moisture, like barbecue sauce or whatever you have on hand. But half of the times it didn't really work. And you still get all that dry meat no matter what. So, and I came up with a solution, as I mentioned before, like steaming the meat. And sure enough, it worked. And added that extra moisture to the meat, which I really like. And of course, the meat falls right out the bone. Of course, I really enjoy that. Heck, even my husband enjoys having the meat nice and moist. He said that was the best reheated chicken I ever had when I first did this. And I told him what I did, and he said, you should do that from now on. And of course, I've been doing it ever since. And believe me, once you guys do this, if you guys have something like this, it can work on anything that is like this. That doesn't have to be something like Crawford Chef or whatnot. You can use anything just like this. So you can moisten your meat like this, so you don't have to worry about turn on the microwave every couple minutes, and then all of a sudden you get dry meat, extremely dry meat. And believe me, that is not fun. Which it's every time I don't even want to think about that dry meat solution anymore. But at least I came up with a solution, and I just want to share with you guys. And as you can tell right now, the water is really, really, really boiling, and the meat has started to get really, really moist in there, and as you can tell, it's looking really delicious. That's what we want. And believe me, and that's exactly what we want. Oh, and make sure that the lid is on at all times when you're doing this. But once in a while, as I mentioned before, you might have to either use a tea kettle like this. Sorry, my tea kettle's a little dirty, but I'm gonna clean it sometime soon. But I will get to that. Make sure you have some water in hand. If you have a tea kettle, you could use that. But if not, you could use a pitcher or whatever you have in your kitchen. But as long as you don't use a plastic bowl, because I don't really trust a plastic bowl by a hot thing like this. But maybe metal will do. I don't know. You guys decide for yourselves, okay? Heck, even a blender pitcher would be pretty good. And well, as you can tell, it started to boil away. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Well, if you end up using something that's plastic, make sure that the plastic does not touch this whole thing, as you know what I mean. As they always say, safety in the kitchen. Yeah. As I was always taught to do. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that does help it right there. Really does. And believe me, you guys are going to love it. And I'll get back to you guys as soon as this is done. Okay, they have been steaming for over 30 minutes now. And so far it's coming along really, really nicely. I just like the way how the meat is really, really getting nice and moist. Oh, looks delicious too. And it smells good. And I wish you guys were here to smell this. Oh my gosh. And believe me, this will be really, really good. Because the more you steam it, the more the meat will become nice and tender, and plus the meat will stay very, very moist. And I just like reheating meat like this. Doesn't matter if it's drumstick size, chicken breast, steaks. Doesn't matter. Plus, as I told you guys before, I don't really like dry out meat. Tastes really nasty though. Let me check this. I always make sure. Yeah, as you guys can tell, it's really, really bubbling right now. Which is why I'm doing this, so I could add a little water. Of course, it does do that, but don't be afraid to do it. Just do it a little. Just do it very, very slowly when you guys do that, okay? So there's no need to be scared. So it will take a little time to start bubbling back up again. That usually happens when you add the water to it. So there's nothing to be scared about. But as long as you guys don't burn yourselves, okay? Because this could become very, very hot. It will start bubbling again soon. I just need to add a little bit of water to that to keep it steaming. And so far so good. And there's no problems. I just don't know what else to say about it, but I will show you guys what I mean. Nice and moist and tenderized. Oh, you can see it right there. It's starting up again. It takes about a few minutes to do it. Yeah. And we'll continue to do that. I usually do this for an hour or so that way I can just get the most moisture in my meat. And of course, if there's still leftovers, I'll do it again. I'll do it again. The same way I'm doing it right now. Because I don't put my meat in the microwave anymore. I just steam it. And believe me, it's a lot more better this way. And it smells good. And of course, if as you're getting your chicken, make sure you continue to have this on warm, even if you're sitting down for dinner, if you want to get some seconds or thirds, whatever you want. But if you guys are done, make sure you turn it off and let the chicken cool down while it's in here. Because the slower we cool this down, the better. And make sure it's cooled down all the way before you put it in the refrigerator. Yeah, you don't want to do that when it's still warm, because that can have some bacteria in it. Wish you guys were here to smell it, as I say again. Well, I'll show you guys the final product, or should I say the reheated product when it's all done.